Hey, I'm Will. I'm the founder of LastUSBag Company. We're here in Plain, Washington at the Northwest Overland Rally, and you're watching Waypoint Overland TV.
Hi, I'm Eric, and this is my first time at the Northwest Overland Rally. Came up here from Puyallup, Washington.
Okay, turn around.
With a wife, right? That's a Facebook device. Over here, oh my, over here.
Those kinds of things.
Sometimes we do have it for dinner, right?
Not in place of dinner, but with dinner.
Of course, yeah.
Not for. She's on.
And I haven't personally been here for, this has been 4 years. So it's amazing to see how much it's grown, and it's exciting.
So, now that this is poured out, what do you guys think of this one?
Hi everybody, my name is Jerry Lickery with Tembo Tusk. Welcome to the Northwest Overland Rally.
Hey, I'm Andy Lilienthal with Warren Industries. We're here at the 2018 Northwest Overland Rally in Plain, Washington.
Hi, I'm Brandon. Welcome to the Northwest Overland Rally.
Hey, I'm Al from Overland Kitchen, and we're at the Northwest Overland Rally.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Max Powell. I'm out here at the Northwest Overland Rally in beautiful Plain, Washington.
Hey guys, I'm here in beautiful Washington at the Northwest Overland Rally.
Oh hey there, I'm Jeff with Expedition Overland. We're here at Northwest Overland Rally, showing off our rigs, having a great time, meeting some great people. If you don't ever get here now, or get here next year. These things are awesome. Great way to meet people and communicate. Show up.
Hey, I'm Will with LastUSBag Company. I'm the founder of a textile bag company based in Vancouver, Washington. I've been around for about 16 years now, and spent a lot of time in the Overland community making bags and different things, different storage solutions for guys like you and girls like you and people like you. You don't get an opportunity to spend time with the consumer like this, where we get to talk, one-to-one about builds that we're doing. What are you doing to your truck? How did you build your tent? How did you do your solar installation? Those are all things that we're interested in and we enjoy. So we come to the smaller events like this. It's not a selling event. Yeah, we sell product here and stuff, but it's really for us, it's a time for collaboration and community. This is a community piece, and we find that just the outreach that we do here, the people that we meet, we've got a massive network of friends from coming to this just for a couple of years, and it's growing, and it just feels good. It's like you see people once a year, and you see them here, and you give each other a big hug, and you're like, man, it's good to see you again, and yet you hardly know each other, but you feel like you know each other really intimately, and that's cool. Plus the community here is like-minded. We're all here for the same reason. I think, yeah, there's commerce going on, but it's really a community feel, and Ray and Marion have done a fantastic job putting this event on. So design is really my background. That's what I focus on. I tend to spend more of my time in the design process of all the product. But I'm not the final decision maker, so to speak. What I really try and do is build kind of a community of thought around a product and why we might build it. But there's another aspect of this that's really important, and that is that everything that we have here today is built out of the remnant scrap from our bag company. So the stuff that we produce for overland or outdoor markets is based on the theory of sustainability. When we end up having end cuts of rolls, it may only be 5 or 6 yards. It's not enough to do a major project with, but it's enough to build this type of product, and it doesn't go to landfill, doesn't go to waste, and we build to the highest efficiency possible. So we build to 95 to 96% yields off of the fabric. that we have left over, and that's what creates all the products that we bring to these. And that's really important for us because that waste is incredibly costly to manage, but it's also toxic. You can't just go throw it away, or you can, but it's not really the responsible thing to do. And I think it's important that us as designers, we need to design around efficiency and maximizing our yield. If you're not doing that, you're in the wrong end of the spear. We need to be focused our attention on eliminating waste and building to maximize the sustainability of the product long term. So this is our LUSB 108 Happy Camper, and this is really the genesis of this product came out of the origination of our 302 Caddy. 302 Caddy is probably our most popular overlanding type storage product for camping or anything. This was designed for the UH-60 Blackhawk in a much more robust way. So we have these flying throughout Army National Guard medic helicopters all across the United States. And we commercialized it, made it into a wall storage locker, basically for you could hang inside of a Sprinter van, you could do it in any camper, you could put it in the back on the back side of the seat back in your truck. It could be used anywhere. But what I found was that I wanted something that was even more portable that I was going to take off quite frequently, and that's when I designed the 108 Happy Camper. This product uses a lot of the same features that I have on the 302. Take this off here. Into a slightly more compact. It's half the size this way, but if you notice, it's got a zipper opening and an inside pocket with two interior pockets as well. Well, what you can also do is you can unzip this 270 degrees and it becomes a horizontal wall hanger like that. So if you look, you've got 5 pockets on it, each with these removable labels. So if you want to put some nomenclature on here, what's inside of your pocket, you basically can just Sharpie on the piece of Velcro, and then you can replace those as you put different things in them. Super simple way to identify your product and just kind of understand what the visual cue is for what your asset is on the inside. Pockets are about 2.5 inches deep. There's 5 of them. I created different sizes. These work awesome for like a camp kitchen. You can put all your utensils, the spatulas, whisks, all the different things you need. You put your spice rack and stuff in a small one. Cleaning system, you know, if you've got soap or small jug of soap or something like that. And then anything larger, all the way up to like a jet boil. If you have a jet boil or a percolator or maybe like a planetary design coffee maker, those work really well. And you still got the inside pockets here, such. So for camp kitchen, it's great. I personally use it as a photography hauler. So what I do is I take my lenses, I stick them in little foam blocks, and I stick them inside of here. I can put my laptop on the inside. I close this up here and use it like a tote. And I put my laptop on the inside. I put my tablet in there, and I've got all my cables and cords on the inside of this. I can throw it over my shoulder, and I'm on the go. So, a little bit of a more mobile variation on this piece, with a little bit more functionality to it. Again, it's our 108 Happy Camper. It's a fantastic product for just about anything. If you want to use it at the tactical range, you're out shooting, you want to use it for that. Camp kitchen, first aid, just about anything you could think of. So each of the pockets has 2 sliding zippers, and they're on there with 2 for a very specific reason. These are YKK zippers, number 8 zippers, kind of an industry standard, quality standard. YKK's been around for a long time, and we still, even though there's many zipper companies out on the market, we feel that they're the best possible option for this product. You'll see in most outdoor gear when you're elevating your brand, you want to see a YKK zipper on there because their quality is really unmatched right now. Both sides offer 2 dual zippers. There's a very distinct reason for that, and that is when you open this product up using the 270 degree zipper, you can hold it and hang it horizontally, like so.
Oh, really?
But the way the zippers are oriented, I can also hang it vertically because the zippers go up and over. So I can use it as a vertical storage solution as well if that's what you want. So that's really critical. If I only had a single zipper on here, then it could only open in one direction. It could only hang on a horizontal orientation. So having both zippers allows it to open in a vertical as well.
We do all kinds of stuff.
This is 1000 denier Cordura nylon. Some of the complications with Cordura nylon is that people associate that with 1000D only, but Cordura is a fiber. It's made, patented by DuPont way back when, owned by Invista now, and really any fabric could be made out of Cordura. So it's not just this weave. The 1000D is a measurement in weight and grams of the material. 1000D is kind of an industry standard or a mil-spec standard for really high quality product, high abrasion resistance. Typically your abrasion resistance on this is about double what 600 denier poly is going to be. 600 denier poly is a very standard product in kids' backpacks, stuff you find in retail chains and mass market stores where they're selling stuff at school time, back to school backpacks and things like that. Very common product. The downside to it is it's really not as durable as a nylon product. Nylon carries higher tariffs though when it comes in as an import, and that's why a lot of companies don't use it, and it's more expensive. But we focus on it. We focus on it because we know it works. It's tried and true. Any tactical company or any outdoor company knows it's worth its weight in gold, and there's a high value to the consumer when they're purchasing a product like this because they're going to end up owning this for years without fail. So we started the company really as a military contractor and medical device manufacturer. But the downside to the textile industry in the 80s and 90s was that it was all moving offshore. And so we were losing all of the labor that we inherently had, and the new generations of immigrant labor and stuff that typically did sewing type jobs weren't there anymore. So we started to lose a lot of our business, and so we really had to focus our attention on what categories made sense to make in the U.S. And those categories are really safety, certain amounts of made in the USA product where there's an appeal. And for us, it's not about making a bunch of money off of this type of product. It's about using the resources that we do have, providing jobs. We train all of our people in-house now because we don't really have a labor pool to draw from. So we invest most of our money back into the infrastructure of providing living wage jobs. So if typical scale for a sewing individual might be about $11 an hour across the country, we're typically paying between $16 and $20 an hour. And we do that on purpose because it helps develop the talent and it helps maintain the talent. So we have really low turnover, and quite honestly, it makes us feel good. This is our LUSB 132 backpack. It's a roll top backpack I designed specifically for commuting. I had a myriad of different bags over the years that I was kind of frustrated with because I'm a cycling commuter back and forth to work. I ride 10 miles each direction, and I wanted something that was more of just a cavity that I could put bigger shoes or boots and things in that wasn't constrained by kind of this tight aerodynamic look of a lot of bags that I was buying. It's only a 10-mile commute, so it's not that long. It takes me about 35 minutes to get to work, so I don't have to wear it for a long period of time. So I'm not, I don't need like, massive airflow in the back or anything like that. Plus, I've got cycling gear on, so I'm already going to get sweaty and stuff. I got a shower at work, but I just need all the stuff that I need once I get there to be able to yank out of there, take a shower, get ready, and all that. I wanted a bigger cavity. So I designed this bag to be a conventional roll top with a single strap and a stiffener on the opener so that I can open it and it stays open. I've got a laptop sleeve on the inside to carry my laptop, a padded back panel here, and I've got a mesh pocket attached to the front. So my mesh pocket I use for my valuables. So I put my wallet, I put my keys, put anything out, like my headphones usually, that type of thing in this small mesh pocket in the front. The rest of it's just a big cavity down below. So my boots go in, my boots go down in on the bottom. I've got a nice waterproof bottom here on the base. I've got 1000 denier Cordura nylon here. I've got the ladder here, so if you're over full and you need to stretch your strap out as far as it can go, you can do that. So you're ultimately, if you had a baguette or you had a trekking pole or something, you can still use this. You can just stuff it down in. It'll stick out the top. You may look silly going down the street, but who cares, right? I've got this cool little patch here, Velcro patch. That's actually designed specifically for cycling light. It's got multiple positions, or you could strap something to it if you needed to. Got my US flag. We call this our black flag backpack when it was in prototype stage, so we kind of carry that through. And then a reflective stripe that goes across the bottom here. So I'm wearing one today, and what you're gonna see on the back side of this bag is an ergonomic shoulder strap here that's bar tacked in using a Mills standard 28 stitch bar tack on both corners. The number one failure point for backpacks typically is the strap system, and it's usually right here. These straps pull out over time. So we reinforce that stitching with a bar tack there. Then we transition that with a piece of webbing going across. You see you've got an attachment point here and here if you need to put a light on, an additional light, and this handy little sternum strap, which is adjustable and it's under tension, so it gives a nice amount of flexibility when you're wearing it. On the underside, this is called 3D mesh or air mesh, or there's all kinds of different names for it. We use that as a circulation piece. Gives a little bit of additional padding to the shoulder pads, and also some breathability and moisture wicking. Nothing's going to be 100% breathable, but what it does do is it absorbs that moisture and it wicks it very quickly, so it dries fast. That's the important thing. So even if this thing gets wet and sweaty, it's going to be dry within 30 minutes typically, because that moisture is not going to be able to penetrate that piece. Reinforced in the corner are these straps here. Another bar tack down on the 1-inch webbing. This is all mil spec 17337 webbing, and we've got aluminum hardware down below here on these pull pieces. These are important. This is called a ladder lock or a tension adjustment piece. We use these, almost every backpack company would, right? But we use the aluminum ones on purpose because we find that plastic hardware doesn't have as a longevity like we like on some of these products. So we try and use aluminum wherever we can. Now there's certain areas where you're not going to be able to, but where we do, we use true Duraflex buckles here. This is an SJ buckle by Duraflex. It's one of the more ergonomic feels to it. It's got a nice feel to it, a nice easy action. You don't have to squish it, but you're also not afraid it's cheap and going to break. So we're pretty particular about the hardware that we pick for the bag. But if you look at the bag, there's very limited hardware on it. So there's a limited amount of opportunity for failure, and that's what we were looking for, is trying to minimize the piece so that when you're out in the field or you're riding your bike or whatever, you don't lose the ability to use it because something failed. So because of its capacity, we like to think that this is really a useful product across any activity that you're doing. So if you're an urban person and you just want the urban look, it's got that. If you are somebody that travels a lot, like myself, I think I've been on a plane, I don't know, probably 24 times in the last 4 months, and I use this red backpack every time I travel. It's very convenient when you're going through TSA. Super convenient because it's just a big cavity. I can throw stuff in. Everybody's under, kind of tense when they're going through security checkpoints and things like that. So I like to be able to just stuff stuff away with a big open cavity. They don't have to worry about getting it into a specific slot. And again, when I get on the other side, I've got time to sort through what I'm doing. So that's what I try and do. But this product is useful in the urban environment. If you're you're out in the forest, you want something to carry all day long, it's super comfortable. Ergonomic straps make these basically, you don't feel like you have much on. It's got the waterproof bottom's great, especially if you're in wet climate and you need to put your bag down for a second. You're not going to end up with a big wet sack down at the bottom. The other nice thing about this is that if you spill on the inside, it's contained, which I know you don't want that to happen. But I can tell you, I've seen it before where a friend of mine had a chemical, like a WD-40 can on the inside of their bag, and it basically popped a hole somehow, and sprayed all over the place, and it was on top of a dining room table. Well, we were fortunate because the WD-40 didn't sweat through the material and get onto the table and ruin the finish. Now, rare circumstance, but you got to think about those things. They're the things that we overlook all the time. So having a little bit of extra protection is really handy in these products. Cyclists, runners, you know, your urban guy, your commuter, your millennial, I mean, whoever. This bag's really functional. I tried to make it as simplistic as possible so that it could cross every activity that you're doing. This is the LUSB 124 5-bag system. It was originally designed for ground transportation in the U.S. Army. What we did was we took all the basic issue items in ground transportation vehicles and we packaged them into a kit. It basically reduced the inventory and logistic requirements for the Army, made it a much simpler process, having everything combined into one set. And it's unique in that there's 4 bags on the inside that fit into one larger bag. But what's unique about it is we've got individual sized bags that can fit all variety of products. So it doesn't matter if you're thinking about it for jacks and high lift parts and recovery gear or rope, anything. You can basically organize it the way you want. You could even just use it as a bug out bag if you want to. If you're taking off for the weekend and you want to have everything packed into one set, you've got small bags for toiletries and maybe a laptop, something like that. They're all handled. They've all got basic number 10 YKK zippers. They've got D-rings on the side, so you can use a shoulder strap with them if you needed to. What's unique about this is the material itself. This is a copper impregnated material on the inside that helps reduce the amount of corrosion on ferrous metals. So if you consider putting anything like steel parts or whatever you have, a jack or anything that's made out of steel, it's going to rust over time. And with moisture, temperature change, dew point, you're going to have some amount of condensation that's going to fall onto a gloss surface or onto a metal surface, and you're going to see rust and corrosion. What the copper does is it pulls that corrosion out of the air ahead of it attacking the ferrous metal. It's a very cool way of helping build longevity into the field of the product, so you get much longer use out of it, and the maintenance is less. Overall, we think, there's no specific number on a test requirement or anything like that, but we typically target about 30% longer lifespan before maintenance with this type of product in there. There's other types of products like that on the market. Copper in general works great because it attacks those VOCs ahead of the metal being attacked. So we try and build a lot of product out of this that's going to be in contact with metal. Any type of metal that can corrode, even aluminum. So if you start to get the galvanizing effect of aluminum, of non-compatible metals, this will help reduce that and build life into the product overall. So overall size of the bag is going to be 26 inches long, it's about 10 inches deep, and it's about 15 inches wide. It's got the 4 bags on the inside, all YKK zippers on the outside. It's got, sturdy web handles to grab from. I have seen these used for everything that I mentioned before, to my buddies that are with me here today at NWOR using it with all their clothing. They came in on motorcycles and they strapped these to the back of their dual sports. I've seen them used for just about everything. I mean, from photography equipment to medical devices. It's a very versatile bag, and since it is 5 bags, you don't have to use it in that system. You can take any of these bags out and use them individually. So if you want to have the same great quality of the corrosion preventative material on the inside, you could just use it as a bag anywhere. So you could have these scattered about. It's a 5-bag system that costs $200, made in the U.S. in Vancouver, Washington. We build a high volume of these for military and for tactical groups. They've got a mil-spec quality to them. We try and maintain high levels of manufacturing. One huge advantage of this type of product, if you're using a Pelican case or Hardig or Storm or any of the other type of hard case companies, is that you can customize some of your transport solutions this way without the weight. These are super lightweight. I mean, this whole piece weighs about 4 pounds overall, whereas a Pelican's going to weigh anywhere from 12 to 15 pounds. So just from that perspective, from a fatigue standpoint, you're carrying something around like this all the time, this is a great way to limit some of that weight and fatigue. Inside, each of these bags is super light. The material, again, it's corrosion preventative on the inside. It's got a copper impregnated here all throughout on the inside. Mil-spec stitching throughout, nylon bonded thread, YKK zippers, made in USA, Vancouver, Washington. And as you can see, it's got multiple sizes so that you can do assorted different builds inside of the bag using whatever your product is. So if you want laptops and tablets in one, you need to put all your cables and cords, power adapters, and all of that type of work inside. Your actual camera equipment in the larger pieces, separated lenses. What we recommend you do is use the same type of foam blocks that Pelican or any of those are using, but make your own. It's a DIY, then you can customize your solution. You can get foam cheap at any hardware store or any like department store typically that you can cut yourself and create that. This system runs $200 retail, whereas if you were to buy all 5 of these in Pelican, you'd be spending $1,000 or you know, somewhere in that range. I mean, they're expensive to do. So we typically this is a great alternative. It's nothing against Pelican or anything like that. This is just an alternative to those if you're looking for a lightweight solution. So the 107 nutsack is a funny origination. We were messing around with building some different types of IFAC kits, which individual first aid kit for military, and we really liked the design of this so much. It was so useful to use on a bicycle or in a backpack or in my toolbox that we really thought we could adapt it to many different industries. So what we did is we stripped down the military version slightly so that it was a little more affordable for the consumer and we could still make it in the US. So we're using 1000 denier Cordura nylon like we do on almost probably I'd say about 80% of the bags that we produce. YKK number 10 zippers. These are reversible. A lot of people think that these are waterproof because they're reversible. That's not the case. Very few zippers in the world are waterproof, and they're very, very expensive. Even if you see the glossy coating over the top of this, that doesn't mean it's waterproof. It's just more water resistant. So that's just something to keep in mind. So it's a reversible. It's kind of nice not having the teeth on there. It's kind of a cool look. But when you pull the slider down, you open this up, you see this drops down. And you've got a vertical storage solution for anything from first aid products to tools to you could just about put anything in there, like the hand tools and toiletries. You can put spices and kitchen utensils and sockets and just about anything. I mean, there's 6 pockets up in the top here. You've got elastic bands, so if you're putting bandages or you're putting maybe some kind of clotting tissue or gauze or things like that you want to put in, you can stuff those inside here. Things that are irregular shape but soft, or even let's say you've got tools in here and you want to put an extra set of gloves in here or surgical latex gloves you want to stuff in there when you're working on your car. You don't want to get your hands greasy, that kind of thing. You've also got a long slot here so you can put a longer wrench or maybe a 3/8 ratchet that can hang down there, a long toothbrush, just about anything fit inside of that. This piece zips up in the front. I use this as for my small Canon G10. I have an old G10 that I pack around, and I've got a bunch of little flashes and different things that I use with it. I stuff it inside of this, and then I put this inside of my bigger camera bag. It's got a Velcro closure on the top, keep it secure. This handy loop to grab and then a loop in the back to hang from. Then if you notice too, it's got PALS webbing across the back, so it can integrate with an existing military style pack, MOLLE pack, or anything like that. And we build a couple different versions of this in red, gray, blue, black. It's kind of fun because we can have a big Velcro patch here, and you can put your identity on there. If you want to put your Overland patch on, or your Roads Not Required patch on the front, you can stick them on there. Or you could use labels like we do on some of our other products if you want. It just makes a fun kind of adornment for the piece as well. This interior here on this gray one is bright orange fluorescent. It's a good marker. If you needed to have a visual marker in the woods, you were looking for someone and you need to leave something out, you could hang this from a tree as an identifier for somebody. So someone's coming down a trail, it's a blaze. You know, just like you would take blaze tape and mount it to a tree, you could hang this and it's got a nice visual, especially in snow or in low light visible areas. You can get a good visual on that. This is 420 denier nylon on the inside. It's an industry standard called pack cloth. It's got DWR on it and a polyurethane finish on the back to make it more water resistant than other fabrics. Probably something that we at LastUSBag really strive to do is to build the collaborative approach to our business. And I think that's underappreciated overall. Folks tend to think about business as being only successful if you're financially successful. And I can tell you right now, not very many of us in the textile industry are getting rich doing this. What's important is that we're helping develop careers for people. I've got a lot of young people that work for me that didn't even know textile could be a career for them, and that's important. It's more of an educational piece, and we focus a lot of our attention on that. And the ancillary benefit of that is we end up retaining talent, and we end up growing our industry and our business, and that's what's important. It's not about just the revenue. It's about the passion that we have for it, and it's really about the mission of what we do.